take a look at the wrap and see how it came out. This is the second wrap, and I did the stationary method on this, where I was able to deacidify the wrap very nicely and seal the tears. So I think the wrap came out really good, guys, right? You can see that the repairs are unseen. It's nice and dry, and I just need to trim the tengu tissue here and here. So it came out really good, guys. All right, and the stain did lighten a bit. It's not perfect, but it did lighten, so I'm happy with that as well. I'm gonna leave it the way it is, and we'll move on to the next wrap. And the next wrap I'm going to work on is going to be the centerfold. Jump from the second wrap to the centerfold, because all the other wraps I'm going to do on the book are going to be the same as the first two wraps. Centerfold is different because here we have the holes that don't line up well with the rest of the book. I'm going to try to seal these in and create new holes when it comes down to reassembling the book. So we're gonna work on this one next. And again, I'm doing here the hay method, which is spraying it with warm water first. Let it sit for 10 minutes. We'll measure its pH. The other wrap's pH was pH 4. I'm not sure about this pH. And measure its pH, and of course, we'll spray both sides of this, right? Let it sit for 10 minutes and then measure the pH. Okay, guys. All right, guys, we're back, and it's been 10 minutes. Let's measure the pH of the wrap. I bet you it's going to be acidic. The other one was a pH 4. This is probably about the same. Here's the pH strip, and we're gonna put it directly on top of the wrap and see what the reading is. We had the water on for 10 minutes, and now we're gonna take this and see what it's reading. It's pH 3, actually, between 3 and 4. Look at that. That's pretty acidic. So very similar to the other wrap, except even probably more acidic. Right, 3.5 or so. All right, so we are going to use 50% calcium hydroxide solution with betaine. I'm going to spray it with that and let it sit and penetrate for 10 minutes. And the idea here is that the pre-wetting allows now the calcium hydroxide to go in easier and neutralize the wrap, right? I should have dried it beforehand. Maybe I can dry it now and do it again. Hold on, guys. All right, let me dry it first and then respray it again. All right, so we'll dry it and proceed, guys, with the spraying with calcium hydroxide. This is a 50% solution. They call that half strength. And because of the pre-wetting, the 50% solution should be pretty effective at deacidifying the wrap pretty quickly within the 10 minutes, right? So if I measure the pH in about 10 minutes, it's going to be, I would imagine, about pH 8 or so, right? Because this solution here I have is at pH 10, pH 11. All right, guys, let's take a look and see what the pH of this is. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a quick patting, quick drying. And then we'll measure the pH. All right, here's the pH paper. Can get a quick gauge of what the pH is. Excuse me, okay. Ah, still low, look at that. Still low, pH 5 now. So we still need to spray it one more time and let it sit again. All right, let's do that. I mean, it went up from 3 to 5, so that's 100 increase fold in pH. I think we should be good with this spraying here, so we'll do that. Isn't it funny that sometimes they go up quickly and sometimes they don't? And this is like the hay method. You're supposed to be reliable, but you know, you still have to measure things, guys. You know, you can't just say, oh yeah, it's deacidified and let's stick with that. So the pH I'm spraying it with actually is about pH 10. And let's see if it is still pH 10. Yeah, look at that. pH 10, right there. Right on the money, right? Yeah, so I wonder why it's not coming up, but it'll come up. I'm pretty sure this time we'll be at 7 or so. If we're at 7, we're good. All right, let's wait for 10 more minutes, guys, and we'll measure the pH. All right, guys, let's measure the pH again. Try it the best we can, and hopefully now it's pH 8 or so here, right? I mean, you'll never know, right? That's why it's important to measure pH. Like the first 2 wraps we did on the book were pH 4, and they went up to pH 8 easily. This one is resisting, and this one is from a different book. This is from a donor book, so maybe it is, or not maybe, but it's definitely reacting different than the other two, right? So let's see what the pH is going to be. And hopefully it is pH 8 or so. Yeah. Not quite yet. We still need to. Oh. And hopefully it is at pH at least 7 or 8. I'll be happy, right? Oops, look at that. These pH strips are not the best. Yeah, pH 8 now. So we're good to go. So that's why it's important, I think, to measure the pH, because on the other 2 wraps from the first book, we were able to deacidify them very quickly using the hay method. This one took a couple of sprays before we got to pH 8. So this was more resistant to deacidification. Although also the pH here started at pH 3. So pH 3 to pH 8 took a couple of steps, and now we are good with this. We're gonna just dry it quickly and put it in the press. Flatten it, of course, and put it in the press. All right, paper towels. and then the wooden blocks, and into the press it goes.